So here we are in the Loaves and Fishes warehouse, and it's great to have Lesley here back with us, and thank you for having us here today. And we've got Theo.
At all. Yay!
This afternoon we're going to unpack a food parcel from Loaves and Fishes, and Theo is going to talk about it, talk us through it, and help us think through how we can cook a succulent meal from a Loaves and Fishes food parcels. What do you think, Lesley?
I think it's a fabulous idea. I think it's one of these things that we certainly haven't considered enough in the past, because it's one thing, and you hear me say this all the time, you can't just give somebody a bag of food, and this is us saying, no, we're not just giving you a bag of food, we're going to give you the knowledge of what to do next and use it best. I'm delighted about it.
Great.
It's a great idea.
Because the way I look at it is like, you give people a bag of food, as what do they do with that bag of food? How many people are they going to feed? Do they have the insight, the inside knowledge to turn it into various meals?
Absolutely.
Or do they just look at it, complete memory blank, and go, actually, I don't like those cornflakes, I prefer the other cornflakes. So my plan is to get all these ingredients, take them on a journey, take them back to my kitchen and cook them up for you, and we'll do it in short videos where you guys can then take it, look at it and use it as a reference point.
Love that.
And draw inspiration from it.
So we've got two food parcels here, Lesley. Do you want
that's one
this
food
is one
parcel.
That's one food parcel.
Yeah.
So you want to show us what's in there, Theo?
Right.
So I'm just going to start taking, I won't take everything out, but there's like tins of tuna, there's long grain rice, there's chocolate wafer biscuits there. Tin foods are great because they don't go off, so you'll be able to do heaps of things with them, but you've got baked beans, you've got potatoes, you've got tomato and chicken soup, another tin of beans, carrots, spaghetti hoops, peas, more wafers, some mug shots.
And Lesley, just tell us, while Theo's doing that, is this a fairly standard food parcel, or are you very much dependent upon what you receive into the warehouse?
Yeah. So what goes in the bag is reflected by the stock level. So we have different lists depending on how much stock we carry. Just now things are not great. We've not got a great deal of stock, so this is a slim one.
Your shelves are looking a bit empty this afternoon.
I think you've been here before and you've seen it when we've had a much healthier. And that is just simply a reflection on how busy we are and the demand that we're facing just now.
Right.
That the shelves are empty because we're feeding so many people.
You can definitely use some more donations of money and of food.
We're desperate just now.
Yeah.
Desperate.
Okay.
Well, if you look round just now, we need to do 180 food parcels out of this.
Right.
And I don't see how that's
going to
happen.
There's not 180 here, is there?
There is not. No. But I think the beauty of this is it's very easy we can give someone a food parcel, but given that when they come here, they're maybe not in the best of places anyway, it's really easy to look at that and be overwhelmed and think, how do I make that stretch? How do I use it to the best of my abilities?
I mean, a couple of things that I've noticed straight away. You're not sort of skimping on quality here.
Right.
By any shape, way or means. You've got 2 bags of snacks there, and these as well. So you're not leaving them short of a sweet treat.
No, absolutely
Because I know when I open
no.
the cupboard at home and I don't have a sweet treat, I start to freak out. Things like pot noodles, they're sort of self-explanatory. There's not a lot that you can really do with those. The same with the mug shots. Again, they're sort of self-explanatory. But these need to be looked at as snack items.
Yeah.
The kids have come home from school. You know what? It's about another hour and a half before dinner. A cup of hot water, one of those, and you've got a happy kid for the next 45 minutes while you're getting ready for dinner. What I'm going to be looking at is things like the porridge oats, turning that into crumbles. I think I saw a tin of peaches here somewhere. So I've got a tin of peaches there. I'll be looking at the baked beans, potentially turning them into sort of like a meal with the veggies and stuff like that. You've got pasta sauces here. You've got tins of tuna. Again, you can pimp your pasta. You can have a plain tomato pasta one night. You can do a tuna and tomato pasta the second night. You've got long life milk here. You've got some microwave rice. There isn't any pasta in this per se, but also I'll provide some pasta.
So the reason for that is everyone gets pasta every week, but what we found was not everybody wanted it. So what we now do is when someone comes to collect a food parcel, they are given the option of pasta, and then we hand it over to them, so it's kept at the door, because that's about...
Up for pasta then?
Gives everybody what they need, but also it reduces the wastage when things are so crucial. But it is there.
So what do you think, Theo, looking at what you've seen in the basket there, you think that's a pretty... potential.
It is. I mean, we did something very similar a couple of years ago, just before COVID broke out, where I was given a food parcel and sort of debunked the myths of a food parcel. I think these are an essential and critical part of everyday life, because there's so many people out there that need assistance. It's just making sure that they're utilising it to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Because a person might turn around and go, well, what am I going to do with 3 tins of tuna?
Yeah.
But one could be turned into dinner, one could be turned into sandwich fillings, another one can be turned into another dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
With just utilising what you've got.
It's interesting, something you said, Leslie, a little while ago, that some of the tins, people don't have tin openers, but you've started providing tin openers.
So when someone comes,
but
we
a lot
ask
of the tins now come with
that's
the
the beauty of now, as opposed to maybe 5-10 years ago, they come with a ring pull. But when someone registers with us, we will ask, because there is a bulk of this, we will say to them, do you have a tin opener? And if they don't, we'll source one for
But
them.
again, it's helping people who provide these things think through the issues. You know, lots of cornflakes.
Yep.
Have they got any milk?
Yep, exactly.
Well, we'll look forward to
there is alternatives. You don't necessarily have to use milk. You can use fruit juice. You can use cordial if you're really desperate. But you're absolutely right. The fact that you've got a carton of long life milk with that. In Australia, when I was growing up, skim milk powder was highly used by a lot of the houses, because it was just one of the done things. Now, Australia was quite affluent, dairy farms all around us, so it wasn't like we were
it was just what was
short
used.
on milk, it was just what was used.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing what you're going to make.
Excellent, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed I can do you proud.
We'll come round for a meal.
Brilliant.
I'm looking forward to the crumble.
Absolutely. Back to roasted.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're now back after visiting Loaves and Fishes. Just real quickly, I want to add that historically Loaves and Fishes was to give food parcels to people that were in need. With the new additions, if you get rehoused and you've entered a house that doesn't have any equipment in it, Loaves and Fishes are able to provide you with clothing, whiteware, so you're able to, instead of being just put in a room or a house with a room, you've now got amenities to produce the food. So back to the food parcel. I've unpacked it and laid it out in front of us. What I've got on the wall here is a Monday to Sunday chart, and the reason I'm doing that is just to sort of show you the way I would look at it from a chef's sort of perspective. Cereals, breakfast, that's fine. You can just leave them to one side. The peaches and custard, I would just turn that into a quick dessert for one of the meals, like for Sunday, for example, just as a treat meal. You can do it in little dishes and make it all fancy. Sprinkle some of the porridge oats over the top, bake the peaches in the oven, pour the custard over the top. So I just leave them to the side. But the main part is what I would put up on the wall or on a bit of paper. So you plan your week out. Snacks, again, these can be put to one side. In the pack, we've got 2 pot noodles, we've got 2 pasta sauces, and we've got 2 cans of soup. These can be, the kids come home from school, throw in a quick pot of soup, a couple of slices of bread, happy days. Come back from footy, chuck on a pot noodle. Again, you're going to fill that gap and get them through to dinner time. There's caramel wafers in here, caramel shortbread, or some other sorts of biscuits. Again, these can be used in the snack department, but for the main courses, what I would do, I'd really break it down. You've got potatoes, you've got peas, you've got carrots. This one here, you can treat yourself. You can either go to the supermarket, get 4 chicken breasts, probably cost you about a $5, and you can turn those 4 dishes into a meal. Those 4 chicken breasts into a meal with those. I mentioned to Leslie, the CEO of Loaves and Fishes, tin of hot dogs. On a normal day, you would like, what do I do with a tin of hot dogs? Pasta sauce, tin of hot dogs, and some lasagna sheets, or the cooked pasta, and turn it into a pasta bake. If you've got the luxury of some cheese, grate a bit of cheese over the top, or mix it in with the sauce, and bake it in the oven. Or you could turn the hot dogs into a meal with the potatoes. You've got 2 cans of baked beans, you've got spaghetti, and you've got sausages and beans here. Again, with these, what you could do, beans on toast, add a fried egg, that's another dinner. So it's looking at the ingredients and making the most of it. The bag of pasta, now that's obviously a big bag of pasta. So that would actually get 2 meals out of it for 4 people. Again, what you could do to to try and make your life easier, cook the pasta all in the one go, divide it into 2 separate lots. So you could have spaghetti bolognese one night, and then the second night you do either meatballs and pasta, or you could do the hot dogs and pasta. And then you've got like sort of tins of tuna here, and you've got meatballs and a pack of rice. You're obviously going to have pasta or rice left over from previous meals. Again, you can either steam the rice, tin of tuna, mix it with some mayonnaise. You could introduce the vegetables with that, so you've got a bit of flexibility. But I would write it all down, so then you know, and you've got a clear idea what you're doing, so then you're not going, oh, what am I going to do tonight? Take 5 minutes, do it at this point, and go from there.
So, we've been going through today how to use a food parcel to prepare nutritious and enjoyable meals.
Yes.
I think the main thing that I learned from this is that I found it fascinating. I stood and watched this whole process. Is that while you're looking at it, you're thinking, okay, well, this is simple, but would I have even thought to do that? And sometimes that's all it takes, is the visual of watching someone else do it, someone else explain the timing and how simple it is, someone else explaining the combination of ingredients. It's absolutely blowing my mind, the amount of food that Theo's prepared and how far it'll go, and the simplicity of it. It's just amazing. I'm so impressed, and I can't wait for everyone to see it, because I think it'll be a real eye-opener for them.
Yeah, so I look at it from a chef's point of view, minimal wastage, maximum yield. And at the end of the day, there's no reason why you should frown upon your food parcel, because just take it out, look at it, write it up, take the mystery out of it.
I love what you've done.
And then you know that that's what we're having on Monday. Now, if you remember, one of the dishes, whatever I cooked on the Monday, I doubled up, and you had Thursdays ready to go because it was sitting in the fridge. Keep it simple, keep it exciting, and make the use of it. Don't be afraid to add a thing of chicken breasts, a couple of used rolls or out-of-date rolls, add a couple of eggs for protein. Keep it simple, keep it exciting, and hopefully we'll get through this together.
And I think taking the food parcel apart and then breaking it down and then working it through what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the stir fry was particularly imaginative, and I don't think I
it was amazing.
That.
No.
And I think just people seeing that and thinking it through and making up a meal chart based on what's in the food parcel, topping it up with a few bits and pieces, I think it really works.
But even the hot dog lasagna, I mean, that was a great dish.
It was so
who's not going to eat that? If I was to do it again, I would actually add a bit of cream and a bit more cheese just to make it a bit bougie. But you're literally talking a tin of soup, a tin of hot dogs, and 9 lasagna sheets.
Genius. I'm really grateful. I'm so glad Theo did this for us. It's been a huge service he's done for us, and it's been really increased my appreciation of what's in the parcel and how far it will go. I feel a lot more confident about it now, having watched Theo here in the kitchen. Amazing.
Okay. Well, thanks, Leslie. Thanks, Theo.
You're welcome.